So over the years, I've interviewed 134 millionaires, people who have reached a net worth over $1 million and replaced their W-2 income. And I'll tell you a few of their stories here in today's video so that you can see how they went from being lawyers, wholesalers, tech guys, other corporate jobs, even single moms, to quitting those jobs, paying for their own lifestyles, and then becoming millionaires. And this group of people has one primary asset in common that led to their success. So let me introduce you to a handful of those people and see if you can identify what that one thing is. Let's do this. Let's start with Patrick Grimes, engineer. I resonate with Patrick as I was a former software engineer as well. And he actually started in single-family development. Like so many people who start in single families, he was doing some ground-up development in 2007, but then lost everything during the 2008-2010 crash. Now, he rebuilt his career in engineering and then returned to real estate by buying and renovating distressed single-family homes in emerging markets. And so the time that his high-tech career pushed him to pivot towards something that was more efficient, something more scalable, actually something that's less work with better tax benefits, and that was more recession resilience than single family house. And so he basically decided to go into multifamily real estate. And the thing that really helped him, because he wanted scale and needed scale, is he realized he needed training and mentorship, and also leveraging partnerships to help him overcome that analysis paralysis and the limited resources that everybody has, and getting into that game. And so as a result, he built a substantial multifamily portfolio of nearly 2,000 units worth $150 million by focusing on this multifamily asset class, and then leveraging on his advisors, and also by leveraging joint venture partnerships. Another one is Adam Nort, single family real estate. He's from Louisville, Kentucky, and he kind of built a single family real estate business before moving into multifamily. So many people start with single family, and then like I did. I mean, I flipped 3 dozen houses over 3 years. And then before they scratch their head going, my gosh, how do I scale this thing without working more and more and more? And this is where people discover multifamily. In Adam's case, he joined our mentoring program in 21 because he really wanted to accelerate the process of scaling beyond single families so that you become financially free. And so he closed his first deal in 2021. It was a 26-unit property in Cincinnati worth $1.3 million. And he raised $500,000. Despite all kinds of challenges that we normally face, but thankfully he was working with a mentor. First time we ever raised money before, and that's pretty cool. And when that happens, that triggers the law of the first deal, which I talk a lot about in my book. And so he started attracting more capital and more deals as well. And so today he's got a fairly large multifamily portfolio as well. David Camara, a former management IT consultant who traveled weekly for work, and he was highly paid, but he was traveling a lot. And when his fourth daughter was born, he decided that he needed to get out of. He needed a new plan, and he was a little smarter than I was, and so he skipped the single family house investing entirely the flips or the rentals, and decided that he needed to do something that's a lot more scalable. So again, he really wasn't comfortable in doing this himself. There's a lot of things to figure out. So he joined our mentoring program as well. And then in that first 12 months, he closed 3 deals and became financially free, and actually became one of our mentors, meaning that he was teaching other people how to become financially free and doing their first deal. And like so many times when you do this once or twice, the only question you ask yourself is, well, how do I continue growing this without sacrificing my quality of life? And that's what David has done. He has continued to expand his portfolio. He's got over 1,000 units across the Midwest, primarily in Michigan and Iowa. Then let's see. Cheryl Gervais, she was a paralegal from a background, a single mother, and so she began investing in 2007, built a impressive seven single family houses that she built together, which is amazing. And again, she's one of those people where she scratched her head going, gosh, I need more like 25 to 50, and it's already taken me this long. What do I need to do? She's looked at other types of real estate strategies. Thankfully, she skipped them, but she did look at wholesaling, private lending, and then she discovered multifamily and decided to go into it. She did start working with us as well, and then she did a 34-unit property in Metro Atlanta, raising over $700,000. Again, with partners, is a very common theme as well. Let's see who else we got. Scott Todd, I think the last example I have. Scott got started with us, and his biggest fear was raising money. And so you know, so when you start working with us, for example, we kind of we send you through our boot camp and you learn everything about multifamily investing. And Scott, from a personality perspective, would be more suited to I would say a capital raiser, because he had an executive career, a biotech professional for 20 years. And he's had some single family houses. He knows how to talk to people. He just needed the playbook. And so when we gave him the playbook, he goes, okay, cool. I know what to do here. And on his first deal, he actually raised $800,000, first time he ever raised capital before. And as I said, he was very apprehensive about that. And we just handed him a playbook, said, let's do it. Just start talking to people and talk to a handful of people. He goes, okay, I'm getting much more comfortable with this idea. And from that point, he actually started to be successful and raised that $800,000. And then the second deal, shortly after that, he raised $1.2 million. And so what's amazing is that most people are afraid to raise money. I would say almost 100% of people that come work with us are afraid of raising money. And then they raise $500,000, $800,000. Ryan and Russ Cannon, they raised 2.1 in their first raise as well. So the things you think are impossible or very, very difficult, it turns out once you get into the hood, especially when you're working with someone like an experienced mentor, are actually much, much easier than you think. And so what do they have in common is real estate, right? These 134 millionaires, it's not a massive sample size, and I've only mentioned a few of them, but 90% of millionaires in the U.S. have over a quarter of the wealth in real estate, right? And how do they do that? And if you're a multimillionaire, are you going to have 2 or 3 rentals? No, they're not. They're going to be in commercial real estate as well. And by doing that, and they're not doing this themselves, right? They're doing this in partnerships and most likely investing passively. And what are you going to do, right? And if you want to build up that part of your portfolio that really makes a difference and really has the ability to generate tens of thousands, $100,000 a year, it's going to be difficult for you to do it with single family house investing. And so how do you do it, right? And so this is what we're going to look through in the next video. Is we're going to look at some of these numbers in more depth. We're going to compare some of the numbers of single family house investing, of flips and rentals. We're going to compare that to some of the numbers in multifamily, and then hopefully you'll see that the multifamily is actually a more scalable strategy if we look at the numbers. So click to watch my next video. Let's take a look at these numbers and compare them between the different strategies.